Hi, welcome back, art students. It's been about a week since my last video. I was hoping to be able to do them more often. Probably I'm going to try and do 1 or 2 a week and have a set date that they'll be ready on Mondays. So that is my plan and goal. I want to talk to you about perspective drawing. The next couple classes will be on perspective drawing. So in the real world, which we live in, is 3-dimensional. So for example, my cup is tall and it's wide and it has a front and a back. And the problem that artists have trying to make the 3D world look 3D on a 2D surface. So this is our first project we're going to do with the cubes. So my paper is tall and it's wide, but it doesn't have a front and back, it's flat. So my paper is 2-dimensional, D standing for dimension, and this is 3-dimensional, okay? Now the way that we can make things look realistic in art is by doing shading. Miss Linda's always telling you guys about shading. It makes things look more realistic. And so that depends on where the light source is coming from. Usually it's above. Sometimes we have the lamp on. Sometimes it's above lighting. Sometimes it's the sun. So, and another way to make things look realistic is, by overlapping lines, shading, overlapping lines, making things go back into space. So these cubes is what we're going to start out with, and I'm going to show you how to do them. We're going to do 1-point perspective after that, which 1-point perspective would mean there is a vanishing point. It goes off into everything's coming towards you is bigger or seems bigger, and what's farther away is smaller. So if this was a road, see how it's getting smaller and it's going off into 1 point. All these lines are meeting at one vanishing point. Okay? The same thing's true for if you were standing on a building and you're looking down at the street and there's people on the street, then those people would be drawn and appear smaller. They're almost like ant size compared to how big they really are, and the people closest to you are, life size. So as things go back into space, they'll get smaller. They'll be drawn smaller. They're not really smaller. I don't think that they're really miniature little people down there on the bottom of the building. Here's another example. Okay, the one thing that's hard about these videos is that I miss talking to you and getting your feedback and seeing your faces and laughing at ourselves and each other. So I end up talking to myself a lot. Here's another example of 1-point perspective. And see the vanishing point? This is kind of a fun project. I'll probably let you guys color these on your own. So if you're going to use watercolor or paint, you need the right paper. Copy paper is fine just for pencil, colored pencil. What else? Crayons, yeah. So let's get started. Here we have our supplies. I have a thin marker and a fat marker. Mostly I use the fat one. Pencil, ruler, and we are doing 1-point perspective. And it's going to have a 1 vanishing point. So you're going to take your paper and take the ruler. And some of this you will be doing in pencil. And I see it's kind of level with that horizontal edge. So I will make a mark. You can do this in pencil though. Okay, and I'm going to put a vanishing point right there. So everything is going to be going off, all the lines are going to go off to that vanishing point. Okay? So if I start out and just make a square the best you can, and I'm trying to make it so that these lines are parallel to those, and these ones are parallel to that. Okay, and you guys do this in pencil. And then I am going to use my marker for this part, but you guys want to use your pencil because you want to be able to erase. So I'm lining up, I'm going to do all 4 corners, and I'm lining up the line, and I'm going to go from that point to that corner. Okay. Now that corner over there, I think I'll just make a dotted line because later that's going to be erased. Now inside of here, you're going to do another, this is a cube, a box. So I'm going to go back further in space and put a line here. Oh, it's turning into a rectangle. Line there, and here's my box, or my cube. And so you would erase, the lines you can't see. So really I can't see this part or that line. Okay, let's try another one over here. And I don't know if I said this is the horizon line. Yes, and usually the horizon line is eye level. So when you look out at the ocean, where say the sky meets the water, the line that it creates is going to be your eye level. Okay, so then you can do your cube. So this line, this first box you drew is parallel to the edge of your paper, and so the next one is also going to be parallel to this and the edge of the paper, and the same with this. This is this horizontal line. These are parallel to that. So when you go up here, it's going to go the same direction. Again, I made a kind of a rectangle. Okay, let's try one up here above the horizon line. Okay, oops. Okay, so another parallel line to that, and another parallel line to that. And there's our cubes. All right. You erase the lines you don't see on the box. You can try this with other shapes also. Well, I made rectangles, but let's make a bigger rectangle. Ah, I went off on that one. I didn't have it lined up to my point. So forget this little line right here. Okay. Now I can go back as far as I want. I'm just making sure that this one's going to be parallel to there. And this one's going to be parallel to that one. Now, do you see when I made it longer, remember I was telling you about things farther away are going to appear and be drawn smaller? Well, look at how much smaller this edge of it looks than this one. Okay, and we'll talk about shading and the box after. So try this. Since I'm using a Sharpie, I didn't want to get Sharpie on the tablecloth, so I put this pad of paper underneath so that if I went off the page, it wouldn't mark the tablecloth. All right, now let's take a look at this project. Okay, later on we are going to talk about 2-point perspective, and that's where it will have 2 vanishing points, but we don't need to go into that now. Okay, so I put my horizon line a little higher this time. And this is going to be the sky, and this is going to be the land. Okay, I'll make my vanishing point, and I'm just going to go off to near the corner of the page for the road. And then I can do, I think this, when I first started drawing this, this was going to be a sidewalk. Whoops, they're not the same size. That's okay. Okay, and then, you know those things in the middle of the road? You can do those, and as they go, they're going to be on this line going towards the vanishing point, and as they go farther away, they are going to become smaller and appear to be closer together. Okay, I started out small too soon. Whoopsie. Okay, so there's my road. Now, say you had, like, there was trees planted in the sidewalk. So these trees here are going to appear bigger, and as you go off in the distance, if they were all planted about the same time, they're going to get smaller and smaller. Now I'm doing this very fast, and my trees are starting to look like people. Okay, you get the idea of that? All right, I did put some mountains in them. You could have the sun setting right over the vanishing point, and maybe you want sun rays, even though they don't. Oops, I went through the sun. Oh well, I should have started here. That's why it's good to use pencil first. You can put whatever else you want in and color it how you want. Markers was the other thing you can use on copy paper. I forgot to mention that. This one I think we will wait. This one's a little more involved. Still, it's 1 point perspective because where's the vanishing point? Right here. And I just put, you know, you can put your own kind of shops you want. I did add an awning, but all these lines are going off to that vanishing point, even the tops and the bottoms of the windows and signs. Okay, so if you look, if I put this ruler here, you can see they're all going off to that point. Okay, all right, well, practice that and color them in however you want. Surprise me, add your own backgrounds and colors, and I will see you again soon.